Welcome to week 4 of postpartum abs. If this is your first time to Barbells at Bedtime with my postpartum series, remember that I have actually several other weeks ahead, and I want you to pause this, come back after you've done those workouts first. As a friendly reminder, you want to do this a few times a week and to take breaks in between the times that you do this exercise. Also, remember to go at your controlled pace, not mine. It's timed, but if you need to take a break before then, that's fine. If it is getting too challenging for you, I want you to repeat week 3 before moving on to this week. And remember that it is not a competition. You've just had a human. That's a big deal, mama. Maybe be patient with yourself just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
With your thumb on your back and your hands surrounding your waist, you're going to take a slow breath in through your nose. Imagine your lungs are filling like a balloon in all directions. Your belly should gently expand, your side ribs widen, your back expands, and your chest is going to stay relaxed. Think of your torso as a cylinder that expands 360 degrees. And then breathe out of your mouth for about 4 to 6 seconds as if you're slowly blowing through a straw. As you exhale, your ribs move back toward the center, your abdomen gently tightens, your pelvic floor naturally lifts, and try to avoid sucking your stomach in hard. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor about hip width apart. Breathe in through your nose and let your rib cage expand in all directions. As you slowly exhale your mouth, you're going to gently tighten your abdominal muscles as if you're preparing for someone to poke you in the stomach. Keep your core braced as you lift one foot a few inches off the floor until your hip and knee are bent at about 90 degrees. Then you're going to pause for 1 or 2 seconds without letting your hips rock or your lower back arch, and lower the foot back to the floor with control, and repeat on the opposite side. I want you to move slowly and deliberately. The goal is to keep your pelvis and torso completely still while only moving your legs. Remain lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Keep your arms by your side and find a neutral spine with a small natural curve under your lower back. Breathe in through your nose, allowing your rib cage to expand in all directions. As you exhale, gently tighten your core and rotate your pelvis so your lower back lightly presses into the floor. Think about bringing your pubic bone slightly towards your ribs. The movement is small and controlled. Then, keeping your core engaged and your pelvis in the same position, you're going to lift your feet off the floor. Hold for 1 to 3 seconds while breathing normally, and slowly and controllably lower the feet back to the floor, maintaining your core brace the entire time. Return to your starting position and repeat. You're going to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Rest your arms by your sides and find a comfortable neutral spine. Breathe in through your nose and let your rib cage expand in all directions. As you exhale, gently tighten your core and rotate your pelvis so your lower back lightly presses into the floor. Think about bringing your pelvic bone slightly toward your ribs. Hold this position throughout the exercise. Keeping your core engaged and your pelvis still, slowly slide one heel forward along the floor until your leg is almost straight. Stop before your lower back begins to arch or your pelvis starts to move. Slide the heel back until your foot is flat on the floor, and repeat with the opposite leg. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Rest your arms by your side or onto your stomach if that makes you feel more comfortable. Breathe in through your nose, allowing your rib cage to expand in all directions. As you exhale, gently tighten your core and rotate your pelvis so that your lower back lightly presses into the floor. Think about bringing your pubic bone slightly toward your ribs. Keep this gentle core engagement throughout the exercise. Keeping the soles of your feet on the floor, slowly allow both knees to open out to the sides at the same time as far as you can without your pelvis moving or your lower back lifting off the floor. Only move through a range that you can control. Use your hip muscles to slowly bring those knees back together until they're hip-width apart again. Maintain your pelvic tilt and continue breathing throughout the exercise. As you exhale, gently tighten your abdominal muscles as if you're preparing for someone to poke you in the stomach. Keep your ribs down and maintain a neutral spine throughout the exercise. Slowly lower one leg by hinging at the hip until your heel lightly taps the floor. Move only as far as you can without your lower back arching or your pelvis shifting. Bring your leg back to the starting position with control. Repeat the movement with the opposite leg, alternating one side at a time. You should feel your deep abdominal muscles working to stabilize your torso and your pelvis staying level. Your lower back should remain in the same position throughout the movement. Rest your arms by your side and take a 360 breath on the floor and gently brace your core. Press through your heels and squeeze your glutes to lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Keep your ribs down and avoid arching your lower back. Hold the bridge position and keep your hips level. Imagine balancing a glass of water on your pelvis. The goal is to keep it from tipping as you move. Without letting your hips drop or rotate, slowly lift one foot a few inches off the floor, bringing your knee toward your chest. Pause for 1 or 2 seconds, and then lower your foot back to the floor with control. Repeat on the opposite side. After completing all repetitions, slowly lower your hip back to the floor one vertebrae at a time. Begin on your hands and knees with your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers and press evenly through your hands. Keep your neck neutral by looking at the floor a few feet in front of your hands. Take a 360 breath and gently brace your core. Keep your back flat and your hips level. Imagine balancing a glass of water on your lower back. Your goal is to keep it from spilling throughout the exercise. Slowly reach one arm straight in front of you while extending the opposite leg straight behind you. Lift only as high as you can without arching your lower back or rotating your hips. Your body should form one long line from your fingertips to your heel. Pause for 1 to 3 seconds while breathing normally. Keep your core engaged and your pelvis steady. Slowly bring your hand and knee back to the floor with control when you're finished with this side, and repeat on the opposite side. Slowly shift your hips toward your heels as you lower your torso to the floor. Only go as far as comfortable. If your hips don't reach your heels, that's fine. Bring your big toes together and separate your knees to a comfortable distance. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can keep your knees together. Extend your arms straight out in front of you with your palms resting on the floor. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. For a more relaxing version, place your arms alongside your body with your palms facing up. Lower your forehead toward the floor or rest it on a block, folded towel, or pillow if the floor feels too far away. Keep your neck relaxed. Take slow, deep, 360 breaths. With each inhale, allow your rib cage to expand. With each exhale, let your shoulders, hips, and back relax a little more.